Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here too. So, what are we doing today? We're gonna make some simple mason jar Funphemera. Okay. So, one of the Facebook groups I'm in, doing a swap. It's a swap. They're doing a swap. I'm participating. Okay. Mason jar. They had a, what do they call it? Fantasy mason jar. I'd lie. I don't know. That's the best I can do. It's a mason jar, y'all. So I've got this big Sizzix die that is for mason jars, and anyway, I've used it several times. Maybe you've seen some of the past videos of it. Oh, especially the one where we made a an ATC coin book thing out of it. Anyway, here's the deal. I thought I want to make the jar, something go in the jar. And I'm using scraps. I know some of them's pretty big scraps, but that's how it goes. This one's going to be a little notepad, okay? So the die has lids. It's got two different jars, a little jam jar and then a larger, soup jar. Soup, whatever you want to can in it, I reckon. Anyway, I used some aluminum tape on cardstock to die cut for the lids because I really love the lids looking like that. And it doesn't show the little threads on the lid, and the lid looks weird unless you kind of draw it in with the ball stylus, to me. So that's what I do. I also have these graphic 45 bottles. I don't know, they're probably perfume bottles or whatnot. And I have several other stamps. I have a couple stamps I carved, and then some other little mason jar stamps. And there's a list of ingredients in the description below the video. Because, typically when I do a swap on Facebook, I include extras. Typically, not necessarily as a rule, because some Facebook groups say no extras. Okay? Just a swap. That's it. So, anyway. It's not required, so, if you don't get extras in your swap, I don't know what to tell you. It just is not a requirement. So anyway, I'm just stamping these out. And, obviously you can see that. And I'm going to stamp out a couple little labels. And I've, sped up most of the video, if not all of it. And probably deleted a few of the redundancies because, you know how to ink. You have to stamp these two, and pretty much I'm going to do some fussy cutting because, I like doing that. Even though I have that little die right there that will cut out the jar I'm currently stamping. I left that row of jars all in a row. They're fairly straightish. They look like a row of jars. Anyway, doing that. And for the most part, a lot of this does not need explaining. Oh, I've also decided since making this that I could have made the jar open on the side. Been a bigger pocket that way. Yeah, but, I didn't, so it's not. But I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. I wished I'd have made two. One for me and one to share with my partner. Yeah, we might do it again another time. You just don't never know about me. I can repeater. So now's where we're gonna fussy cut. You don't have to watch all that, y'all. I pretty much get rid of most of that fussy cutting because I know not everybody can. All right, or not everybody even likes to do that. I personally kind of like it. So yeah. And my fingers get a little inky because evidently my ink pad was juicy and a little smearage going on. And I cut out the labels because I was going to use the labels on some of my stuff there, and I ended up not liking how it looked. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp on this bottle. And oh gosh, I hope you can't hear my tummy growling, because it is just a talking. So here's the little notepad. I took other scraps and I used the same small jam jar die and cut out several little sheets. How many? Several? I don't know, a few. And I also cut out a piece of plastic packaging, you know, the stiffer packaging, not the flimsy package. Anyway, yeah. So it's got a piece of plastic, clear plastic there on the top. I didn't get it cut straight. I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but when I noticed it, I'll get my little trimmer back out. I'm cutting off the little sides of the jar rim because I don't necessarily want it to stick out. You know, this is a tuck spot notepad. The notepad can be removed and or replaced. Notepad can be used for journaling. Not at all. You can put pictures on it. Whatever Lori's imagination comes up with. Okay? So I'm just trimming off a little bit more, and I decided, well, you know, I want to put a label on this jar. Oh, but first we're going to, okay, we stapled it with the tiny attacher. Caught one finally, y'all. Oh my gosh. No wonder people love that thing. It's so tiny. Not even Texas sized. So I'm just covering up the staple. It didn't necessarily need to be covered up, but you know, just washi tape, covering it up. And because it didn't glue the jar lid on all the way, it tucks up in there perfectly. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, have we not stamped it yet? Oh, we're going to stamp it now because we have to pull out the stazon because, you know, I like archival ink. It does not dry on non-porous things. Stazon ink does. So we're going to use stazon. And there it is. You just don't touch it for a while because it still takes it a minute to dry. Okay. Now, the piece of cardstock I was going to use in the bigger jar got mussed up on the back, so I'm just trimming out another piece of cardstock. Turned out it wasn't straight at all. Well, on one end. Now I'm going to fold it up because it's going to have a pocket. Because if you know me, maybe you don't, but know this. I like pockets. They don't have to have anything in them, and oftentimes I don't always put stuff in them, but I do like, I mean, you know, why not? So inking around that, and most things are inked around with scorched timber because it's like a favorite. And yeah, I try, I'm calling it a tag, okay? It does not get a flufel on it. Well, it sort of does, sort of not. And I was originally going to cut it and then glue it together, and I thought, no, don't do that. Don't cut it till after. Don't cut it till after. So we're going to glue the little pocket shut. And yes, the back of this is white. Could have glued something on there like tea-dyed paper or something, but no, I liked it white. Sometimes I like white, y'all. Nothing wrong with it. I did ink around it. I mean, you know, Lori can do whatever she wants to. She can alter it however she wants to. Theoretically, she could even chunk it in the trash or the recycle bin. I'd prefer the recycle bin because, you know, it's paper. Anyway, I'm sure she won't. I love it. Anyway, so I didn't like the label that I was originally going to put on there. Apparently, I didn't like the labels. So I found a little palette tag. I forgot the name of it. It's one of Timmy's products. They're little squares. And I thought, yeah, that's perfect. So I've stuffed my tag back in there pretty much all the way, I think. I'm hoping it works. And I put glue just at the top edge of my jar lid. Okay? And I made two, one for the front and one for the back, because it's a double-sided. It can go in a pocket. You can glue it down and make it a pocket too. Anyway, So I've got a line of glue just at the top of the lid there, and we've stuck it to our tag. And we're going to put some Ellie Mae's on there. Yeah, we have to clamp it. It's cheesy, Ellie Mae, clamp it. I know. It is such cheese that you like of mine. Anyway, trimming that off. Careful not to cut the lid, y'all. Gonna throw a little ink on there just in case there's a little white edge showing or whatever kind of edge is showing. All right? Okay. Now I'm going to put the lines on this jar lid. You know, just the screw on lid. I mean, you know, it's not precise. They're not necessarily straight, but it makes me happy. We know that's the important thing, right? Okay. Funphemera. Okay. Real word, real hashtag that I made up last year or the year before at some previous time. I don't use it very often, but anyway. Now I'm tucking it in, and it can be a little fiddly to get it in there just right, but it's perfect. And I thought, well, you know, this little scrap right here could be a label on the outside of that. I did not glue it on. Maybe Lori does not want it glued on. Maybe she wants to put her own label on there. So, but I'm rounding the corners, and I will ink around it, and we will put it in there with some of the little extra bits, because, you know, extras. Read all about it. So there we go. Yep, not going to glue it on there. I'm like, nope, not going to glue it on there. Maybe she didn't want that to be the front. Maybe she does. I don't know. I'm sure she's got it taken care of now. So I'm just going to tuck that one little jar in there. Bottle, whatever it is. It's a bottle in a jar. Y'all. Okay. Now what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But get ready. We'll be doing the flip-flop-ish soon-ish. It'll tuck in there. You just kind of got to work it. Just got to work it in there. Okay? Okay. I did not give her a note telling her that that comes off. I should write that on the envelope. Anyway, there's the little extras. And I made several of that little size jar because I thought it was totes adorable. I did not stamp on all those jars. I just die cut them. Here's our little notepad. Look at it. Looks like, to me, orange marmalade. Marmalade. Anyway, look at that. How cute! Ta-da! Photo montage. Hi, y'all. This was silly fun. It was simple. Like I said, the jar, that bigger jar, could open from the side for a bigger pocket. But I did the top part because, you know, that's what I like. So fun, y'all. You know, I like this particular, you know, I got this big die on clearance a long time ago, y'all. $15. That was a good $15, which was a lot of money for me at that time. Now it's, you know, $15. It's like, yeah, you pay that much for a meal at a restaurant. And not necessarily even a good restaurant, y'all. Just complaining and whining like I sometimes do. Look at it, it's coming out the top of the mason jar. So stinking cute. I love it. And either side could be the front or the back. Journaling. Pictures, you can put pictures in there, whatever you want to do, Lori. I hope she likes it. I would love it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Kind comments, likes, shares, subscriptions. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy artin', y'all.